Which, what's up? So good to see everybody. It's a wonderful Monday morning. It's showtime. It's showtime. It's time to get into the charts. But first, I want to make sure everybody's feeling good. You all know that oftentimes we approach the market, but we have to approach it in such a way as to be cool, as to be relaxed. We don't want to stress ourselves. We want to make sure that the market is going to be cool. So we have to make sure that we are cool. So I just want you all to understand that it's a good day. I hope everybody had a fantastic night's rest and we can just wake up and get right to the market. You feel me? Let's see. Let me see here. I'm going to share my screen. If you're watching with me on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or Periscope, I'll go ahead and share my screen so you can see it and we can get right to work. First chart is the hourlies on the bonds. Let me see. What up, Jazz? What up, Patricia? I'm trying to figure out, did I set this thing wrong so I made it only for the group? That would be so weird. I hope I didn't do that. I hope it's open for everybody. Let's find some levels. Properties. Let's make this 3 and make this solid and apply. And overnight low put in right off the open. First candle of the night. 168.02 is where that is. What up, Ken? Good morning, bro. 168.02 as the lows. Top side. Looking at let me spread this out a little bit. You know me, bro. I'm just up trying to find the 4 levels. Overnight high, overnight low, market open. Okay, cool. We have overnight high at 168.31, overnight low at 168.02 for a 29 tick overnight range. The open was, let me see. The open is 168.15. And now we're currently trading 168.23. Everybody, bonds prices, when I'm talking about the bonds, you know how you go from 190 to 191 to 192. So the bonds, to go from 190 to 191, it has 32 ticks in between. So like if we want to go from $1 to $2, we have 100 possible pennies, you know what I'm saying, to get there. And it's the same thing for the bonds. So like if I call 169 or 170 is 169 double low, then 169.01, 169.02, and so forth and so on and so forth and so on until you get to 169.31. But no one says 169.32 because you would just say 170. Just like you wouldn't say I have $1 and 100 pennies. You would just say I have $2. So right now we're trading 168.23. And looks to be some cool little action going on. I got my eye on the bonds. I think good things can happen. Funny thing is, we're still trapped inside the 1400 from Friday. I need to check a daily chart. I remember that about the bonds too. Let's check a daily chart and see where we are. Yeah, we're right where I thought we would be. We're going to watch that open today, 168.14, right? Isn't that the open? Yeah, 168.15. We have to watch that today. We come back down there, it could be showtime. Just from the positioning, just from everything that I'm looking at, it could be showtime to the downside. And if we make that move, it should be S&P upside. So let's find out some levels that we should watch. We should definitely watch 168.06 to the downside. I have marked 167.19 as well. Then you have 167.10. Ultimately 167.05. So we have some traveling that we can do. We're now trading. It's January now, right? But we are trading levels from last year. What up, Ray? I see you in this thing. What up? We're trading levels from March of last year. Like March 18th, March 19th. So crazy to look at a chart and have to go back so far to see information. We're trading in no man's land. Let's see if we can find some stuff. Yeah, what I got is what I like. I still like to the downside 167.19, 167.09, 167.07. These are still good prices for me. Below there, you start getting to maybe 166.06, but that might be a consideration for tomorrow or something like that. Maybe not today. Let's look at upside activity so we can make sure that we don't have a downside bias and only look at one way. Can't just look one way, man. Gotta have a plan to go up and a plan to go down. If it goes up, I want to check 169.09. That's interesting. I'm interested also in 169.04. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't really see the upside. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. I don't see the upside of the bonds today. I just don't. It is what it is, and that's what I got. Let's check the S&P 500. My first and favorite chart to check on any day is my mid time frame chart. I like hours. I like to check those first. This boy's showing us downside. What's happening? Okay, 38.21 is a top, and that was put in right off the open. Since then, we've fallen considerably. Made lows right around 37.90, almost like a 31-point range. Now, for the ES to go from one point to the next point, like 38.10, 38.11, it moves by quarters. So 38.10.25, or 38.10 and a quarter, then 38.10.50. 38.10.75. You know what I'm saying? So it moves by quarters. And this one is moving kind of funky. I believe that. I think it's aiming to see if it can accomplish 37.86.75. Joel, what up? You had a question. I don't know how you make sure people can. Yeah, you can raise hands. You can talk, I guess. How I do that? Joel, if you have a question, go ahead. But 37.86.75 looks like to be it. What's your question, Joel? Good morning. Mm-hmm. Who is this? What's the name one more time? Sundial Growers. SNDL. Okay, okay. I'm gonna tell you, man. I found myself in such a position when I was young as a trader. I had this technical skill, this skill of being able to look at charts, and I found myself employing the best senses that I could. But this is what happened to me, man. And I don't know if it happened to anybody else, but it can seem to be overwhelming to look at 500, 600 companies, to try and learn 500, 600 different CEOs, to understand 500, 600 different balance sheets. Like I found myself early on being Joe, I was overwhelmed. I'm gonna be honest. And it felt like I had to keep up with so much stuff. And all I really wanted to do was make money. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to wake up in the morning and be able to make money. So I said to myself, yo, either I could study all of the S&P 500, all of the NASDAQ, all of the Russell, and all of the Dow. Either I could do that, or I can find one instrument that trades calmly, comfortably. It trades heavy, and when it moves, it's a lot of bread moving with it. So that's how I found the United States 30-year Treasury bonds. You feel me? Like the bonds have the most money per tick value, $31.25. The bonds are not fluctuating depending on some CEO's comments, some CEO's tweets. The bonds don't fluctuate and gyrate like that. They're calm. They move in a very easy to understand, methodical, very predictive manner. So I start asking myself, I'm like, man, do I want to trade a fast moving, low paying, highly volatile market? Or do I want to trade a slow moving, very predictable, high paying, calm market? And that led me to the 30-year treasury bonds. Now, all of those symbols and stuff that everybody talk about, I think that stuff is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. But I don't chase after all of that. I know I know a couple schools of thought, you know what I'm saying, learn about these different stocks. I think, okay, that's cool. But like, what's the calmer play? Is the calmer play to understand one player? If I put my money on one player in the NBA, if I had to take my money and risk it all on one player, or would I rather risk my money on a team? And if I could, not just risk it on a team, but risk it on a whole like coast. And forget just a coast. Imagine if I could put it on the NBA itself. See, when you tell me about Sundial, it's like a player. Now, that player might be in a sector, so call that sector a team. That sector might be housed inside of an index, call that index a coast. So East Coast, West Coast, or whatever. But what I trade the NBA. We know the NBA gonna do well all the time. It don't matter if LeBron win. We know the NBA gonna win every year. Every year you play. So I found myself being in a state of, Joel, yo, man, let me just find the easiest way to get to the bread. And for me, the easiest way to get to this bread every day when I woke up was to trade the United States 30-year Treasury bonds. It wasn't subject to any small, little questions, little moves, little wonderings. It paid like a dog. You feel me? $31.25 a tick. And it was highly predictable. When I put all of that together, I thought I had a winner. So I take those little symbols and stuff like that, like, oh, what is Tesla doing? What is Microsoft doing? Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that those little symbols are cool for investing. I think the bonds are dope for trading. No, it's all good, Joel. I guess all that said, man, I invite you, while you looking at what to do with your money, I suggest you take a look at the 30-year treasury bonds. You don't have to buy a bond to make money from them. You don't have to own a share. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. You know, what we do every day is that we evaluate the value of the contract between the buyers and the sellers, and that because we understand the way that the candles move, we make money off of those. So what a lot of my students do is, like me, I'll take the money I make from trading and then I'll invest it into good companies. That's what I do. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to keep up with the companies and make money off of their growth little bit by little bit. No, I trade, and a lot of my students do this as well. Like, because trading pays you in 60 minutes, investing pays you when you're 60. So we put the yin and the yang together. You feel me, Joe? I'll trade today, make the money today. Eat a sandwich, buy some groceries. I take the rest of the bread, and then I'll go find me a dope company or a dope something I want to make a play on, because it starts giving you, it's all, to me, I felt like this when people started talking about all those symbols. I felt like I was chasing my tail. Like, oh, did you see this company? Oh, did you see this company? And next thing you know, I'm looking at 45 different ones. I'm trying to see if this one is, and it is maddening. It's maddening because every day you got to see, well, what did this one do? And how much money do they have? And do they have any competitors? And where is their business at? And what's on their books? And what's on their balance sheet? Did they build a moat around their business? What sort of product offers did they have? Did anybody see the 10K? Does anybody know what happened with the CEO? What about any of the other leaders? Do they have any innovations coming in the future? How will, if I put this money down right now, how will it perform over the next 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 12 months? Come on. Man, I felt like you're not gonna make me kill myself. I'm gonna study one thing, the bonds. And what I started doing was tightening up my ability. Another thing that happened to me, Joel. Another thing that happened to me, man. And this is a good. Where you from, bro? It's good to talk to you, by the way. Okay, Joel from New York, my man. So another amazing thing that happened to me is that I realized, like, say one of these companies, a big move is, ooh, that move, it moved 30%. You feel me? Like, ooh, that was a big move. Oh, it moved 30%. And I start asking myself, what does that mean? What does that mean? So I started looking like, okay, it moved 30%. That means I could have made 30% on my money. Okay, so how much money did I have to put towards the move? Let's just say I had 1,000 to put towards the move, right? So I put up 1,000. It moved 30%, which is a humongous move. Nothing moves at 30%. You know what I'm saying? Here I am. I put 1,000 on it. I made 300. Like, what I'm gonna do? Pay the lights? Like, what I'm gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm gonna do? I need something. I need a skill that would I needed a skill that would drastically change my financial picture. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a musician. And I remember the first time I told my father-in-law I was a musician. He kind of looked up like, "Oh God," you know what I'm saying? Like, my daughter's marrying one of those. You know, man, I needed a skill set that would drastically change my financial picture. And while I think that investing and even the options are fantastic, I think that the bonds becomes the gasoline to powering your investment vehicle, if that makes any sense. You know, my students that used to play the options, now they play them heavy. You know what I'm saying? They don't play the options with $400-500. Now they play the options with 10, 12, 15, $20,000 a day. My students who used to invest, when they say, "Oh, we're gonna back up the truck, we're gonna buy 20 bands of Amazon on the split." No, now my students be like, "Oh, we're gonna back up the truck, we're gonna buy 40 bands of this." Um, it's a different game. And I think that what we're doing as a community is we're leaning in on the wrong side, you know. Um, I would definitely, if you, take a look at the 30-year treasury bonds, man. You might be surprised at how technically they trade, how calmly and confidently you can be in that market because of how predictably they move, and how it's pretty easy to start, turning two, four, five, $600 a day. And once you start turning that kind of money a day, you start reclaiming your time. Once you start reclaiming your time, you start living a certain quality of life that comes into your home, comes into your household where you're at peace. You're not stressing and straining about different things. And then once you're doing that, bro, you're off to the races. You're off to the races. So that's all. What do you do for a living, Joel?
So I worked at the Museum of Ice Cream as an assistant manager.
Dope.
For a while, and right now, as of now, just currently unemployed.
Okay. Dope. I
will definitely be looking that up. Can you just repeat that again? The bond?
Yeah, the U.S. Treasury bonds, man. The 30-year Treasury bonds. They're called the ZB. Z as in zebra, B as in boy, but the ZB. You know what I'm saying? That's the U.S. 30-year Treasury bonds. It's a fantastic instrument. It trades calmly and technically. It pays the most that I've seen in the entire market per tick. And when you get in here, it's so easy. I won't say it's so easy because everything has, skill sets come with practice. So if you practice, it becomes very easy to see exactly how you can make however much money you wish to make a day. I have students that have done some magnificent things with trading, and they've used trading to fuel these other things that are going on. You know what I'm saying? To fuel those other things that are going on. So I think that you should take a look at it.
All right. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that.
You already know, bro. We're on the S&P still, everybody. And I appreciate Joel. We're on the S&P. What up, Cass? I see you in. Sharice, I see you in. What's popping? If you have any questions, just let me know. But we're still on our S&P. What it looks to be is like somebody's holding it up around 37.90. Somebody keeps propping it up and propping it up and propping it up. I'm interested to see if we can start trading below those 37.90s, below 37.86 as well, and start getting into this gap below. The only funny thing about that is it looks like, the bonds have got their teeth out to the downside as well. So we have to just see how that is going to happen. Excuse me for a moment. I have to open up the trade room. Sharice, did you have a question? Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Sharice. There you go. Good morning. What's poppin'?
Uh, Checking in from Washington, D.C. I'm just following the moderators.
Okay,
That's always the room rules. But thank you all for hosting this really important forum. You're saying you're on the S&P. For those that are new to the market and investing world, what are you referring to exactly when you're on the S&P?
Okay. When I say I'm on the S&P, like think of market. When you think of the market, the financial market, you can think of it like a grocery market, like any other market. And the purpose of a market is to facilitate trade. That's the only reason a market exists. A market is the place where buyers and sellers meet, right? So when you walk into a market, you can go into many different sections. Those sections could be the bakery, the produce section, the meat section, the dairy section, the pharmacy. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the deli. You can go to all of those different sections of the market. Well, when I wake up and I go to the market, I can go to different instruments or to different sections. I could go to the energy section. I could go to travel and tourism. When I go inside of these different sections, then inside of these sections, there are particular instruments that I can trade or evaluate, right? So it's just like, hey, if I wanted to get an orange, I would go to the market, then to the produce section, but I wouldn't go to the vegetables. I would go to the fruit, and then I would find the orange. Well, when you come to the financial markets, you wake up, you go to the market. Well, what do I want today? I would like the future. So you go to the future section, and then you might go to the S&P 500 futures. Well, what is the S&P 500? The S&P 500 is an amalgamation or an index of 500 companies' performance. So it's kind of like taking your top 500 players, grouping their performance together, and giving you an index or average of their performance. Why do I like the S&P 500? Because one, we know all the companies are good. They've been looked at by very smart people to determine their ability to be in that index. Not only that, mathematically, averages tend to keep numbers more calm than if you were to just trade one member of the S&P 500. So I like trading indices because the averages keep them calm. If one company has a really great day and another company has a really bad day, I'm not sitting as a trader looking at big and huge fluctuations. I can look at the average of the performance of those groups. So the S&P 500 is one of our indices, an index that measures the financial strength and the future strength of 500 companies. We have a few indices in that same family: the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, the Dow Jones, and the NASDAQ. These are four members of the same index family. When I look at the S&P, I call it, that's big business, right? I call them the Montagues. You feel me, Sharice? Now, the bonds, those are the Capulets. You feel me? You got the 30-year bonds, the 10s, the 5s, the 2-year notes, the ultra bonds. You got the Capulets and the Montagues now. Now, those two families, they operate in the same market, but they usually have opposing moves. When one goes up, the other goes down. When one goes up, the other goes down. When one goes down, the other goes up. So when I first began trading the US Treasury bonds, the 30 years, I didn't know anything about indicators or anything like that. But I realized that the relationship between the S&P 500 and the bonds was inverse. They had an inverse relationship. And because they did, I would open up an S&P chart. And when I thought the bonds were about to go up, I would look at the S&P and see if it was about to go down. And if it started going down, it would confirm my belief of the bonds rising. So that's why I got so used to the S&P 500. And that's all it is. It's just a group of companies in a bag, and we can trade the average of them.
And so I'm looking on Ameritrade right now. That was very excellently put. The S&P is at the top with the DJIA, that's the Dow Jones.
Dow Jones Industrial Average, yes.
And then there's the NASDAQ.
Yes.
And the S&P 500. You mentioned another one. So does Ameritrade not include
the Russell? No, you know, everyone typically does. You will be able to find the Russell. That index is not one of the popular ones. Like everybody talks about the Dow and the S&P and the NASDAQ. Not too many people say, oh, did you see what happened in the Russell today? The Russell 2000 is not the popular one. However, it is there. And I'm sure if you check, it'll be there. You use TD Ameritrade as your platform to invest?
I did. I recently switched over from Robinhood. I was doing really well on Robinhood, but so I got advice to say, hey, you need to go and actually get a better broker. And so Ameritrade feels so much more complicated than Robinhood. So trying to learn all of the pieces here. I'm proud of everybody in the room on the stage. I'm wishing wealth, abundance, and everybody hit the market big because I recognize the nuances that it takes to even step into this arena. So congratulations.
Well, Sharice, what I will say to you is that you can do it. One, you're a Black woman. You guys are the best. I'm married to one and I'm raising some. So you guys are the best and the smartest. Another thing that I will say is, because I believe your investment intelligence has outgrown the tools of a Robinhood, I think that you're on the track to finding something that has a bit more tools, has something more you can use. See, like if I wanted to build a house, I could build it all with a hammer, but why don't I use all of these tools in their specificity? So, Robinhood is like, hey, welcome to investing. You just click a couple buttons and you're good to go. Well, when I get more savvy, I know that I can be more particular. I can be more granular about my research. I can do a lot more things. And TD Ameritrade has those tools. Another thing I really love about their platform is that they offer a lot of education. If you look on TD's homepage and just start exploring the fact that they're willing to offer so much education to their site visitors and to their users, you'll find tours, tips, and tricks on how to get around the platform. And you'll also find a whole lot of dope investing tricks and tips too. So I wish you well. It's going to be just fine. You feel me?
Well, I'm really looking forward to that. And I guess I would love to hear from the audience or from the moderators. What are you all predicting this morning to be bullish in trading? Some markets that you should definitely be paying attention to.
Oh man, she asking them jaded trader questions to the class. Yo, what's up? Bonds up, bonds down, S&P up, S&P down. Go for it. VHQ is in the building, Rave's in the building, Lamar's in the building, Cassidy and Ken's in the building. Go ahead and talk to me. Hey, and everybody that's in the trade room. Sharice just asked what you think. Bonds up, bonds down, or S&P up, S&P down. Go ahead. Let me see the chat.
Good morning, everyone. Okay.
Hey, what up, V?
Hey, Lamar. Haven't seen you in a while. So I particularly like the gaps. I'm not going to go into detail, of course, about what exactly that means, but I personally think that based on the way the chart is looking today, I think the ES is going to continue to head down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you can look for the S&P to go down. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sharice, the ES is also the S&P. It's called the ES by symbol. So I see you, V. So you're thinking that down on the S&P?
Yeah, but I do have reasons to believe that the ZB might go down as well.
Yep. I'm seeing the same sort of action.
The ZB, I'm sorry, the acronyms, if you just could slow down.
Yeah, sorry. The ZB are the 30-year treasury bonds. So when Jason trades the bonds, if you were to type that in, you would type in /ZB.
Yeah. That's the nobody talks about it. Everybody makes money from it. No one said a word. If you're in a big investment house, like I was watching an interview with a guy, he's a manager of a huge fund. And he's like, man, we saw that all of our investments were doing poorly, so we all had a meeting, and all you just buy more bonds. You can buy the treasuries until you have, he made it sound like it was such this big deal. And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? If one goes down, the other goes up. So that, of course you do. I like that. VHQ, everybody, please follow everybody that you see on this stage as well. VHQ is a very talented trader, one of our bully mentors in the community. And V, me and you seeing the same thing. I see ES down. I also see Bonds down. So I think it's going to be the dance, but number 2, not the first one. It'll be the second one. Sharice, I hope that answers your question so much. And I hope that you're inspired, that you keep going. You feel me? Like, don't stop. This investing thing is doable. You can do this. No problem.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all of us on the beach and at the bank. That's for sure. So let's stay plugged in. Let's keep building for the future generation. Some of us are really first generation everything.
Yeah.
Carrying the stain of 402 years of oppression on our back. So, shoulders a little broad, but we're still keeping it moving.
You already know. That's exactly what we're doing. Speaking of beaches, August 11th to 15th, the Bond Bully is going to be in Miami, Florida at the beach, but we're going to get to the money and the sun. It's going to be a fantastic bully conference. I hope that you all will join me on it. Andres, did you have a question?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How you feeling?
Feeling great, man. This is actually the first time I've ever gotten to speak on Clubhouse, so
welcome.
I actually didn't know my button was unmuted or muted.
It's all good.
First of all, thank you for all the information you give out.
You're welcome.
I just recently got turned on to you. I don't know anything about the bonds, but
okay.
I was starting up with futures, and I'm trying to find a good balance between my work life, my family life, and trying to soak information I can on stocks and futures, all that stuff. And so the stuff you just said 2 speakers ago, where you were saying that there was just so much that you could soak in, and there's like, as you were speaking, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I'm feeling right now. Yeah. I'm worried about 10Ks, 10Qs, CEOs, and all this other stuff on different companies. It's a lot. So
it's a lot.
So let me just get to my question then. So because I'm trying to find a good balance between my work life and my family life and soaking this up, what are the prime times for you to look at the bonds when you're trading?
I think the prime time myth was created by somebody who wanted to, I guess, control the timing of everybody. I have students, man, and they get to the money whenever the market is moving. The market moves 23 hours a day. Usually when people are talking about best times to trade, they want to talk about things like liquidity. There's, you should trade the open or trade the close because of the liquidity. I almost cussed and tell y'all what I thought of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just be honest with you, man. Liquidity is a term that we use to say, if you're a buyer, will there be a seller you can be paired with? You see what I'm saying? Are there enough people in the party for you to do what you need to do? That is true all day long. Around most markets, you can get your order filled. You feel me? So there's no time that's best to do this. There's no time that's best. You can get to the money 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 12 at night. You see, like, I serve a community that is worldwide. I quite literally have students on every livable continent. So I can't teach them strategies that only work at particular times. I got to teach them strategies that work no matter when, because I'm an East Coast dude, but I got students in Jersey, students in Ottawa, students in St. Lucia, students in Brazil, students in Nigeria and Ghana, South Africa, students in the UK. So because of that, what I try and do is not focus on, oh, this is the best play because of it's the morning, or this is the best play because it's the close. No, this is the best play because this is how buyers and sellers communicate with one another. And that's what I try and focus on, Andres. And I hear what you're saying too, bro. Like, don't feel overwhelmed and bogged down by this market. This market, we don't love the grocery store. I don't know anybody can't wake up in the morning. Oh my God, I just can't wait to go see the cucumbers. What? We don't care about no grocery store. What's up, baby? How you doing? Sorry, y'all, my wife just came back. So we don't care about no grocery store. So why we care about the market so much? Let's not fall in love with this thing. This is a place where we go to pick up what we need. That's it. And let's find the most expedient way to exploit it as possible, because we're not here to be the smartest people at the party. We're here to get to the money, and that's it. That's it. Listen to me real well, Andres. We're not here so we can sound smart at parties. Who cares if you sound smart at a party? Not your bills. My wife does not care if I'm the soundest, smartest dude. She cares that if she swiped the card, it go through and she not embarrassed at the store, at the checkout line. So I changed my focus. My focus was no longer, ooh, look at them 24s. My focus was no longer, oh yeah, let me learn all this stuff about all these different CEOs and let me find out what everybody's doing. And did you know about this new product being developed? Man, I don't care. I don't. When I tell you I don't care, well, I do not care. I want to know about this work-life balance thing that you're talking about. And I'm going to tell you this to encourage you. There are seasons. There was one season in my life where I was staring at this computer trying to learn this skill, and I really didn't come up for air. My profession before becoming a full-time trader was a musician. If you know anything about music and instruments, they don't play themselves. If you hear an instrument do something, it's because that man or that woman, that musician made it do it. This keyboard didn't play itself, so I had to go out there and I had to practice till my fingers hurt, till they swole up, till my wrist hurt. They call that the woodshed. I was going to the woodshed every freaking day and night. And that's how I became very good. That's how I traveled all over the world. That's how I went on TV, MTV and BET and playing for artists. I got good by practice. So what I did was when I got my chance in this market, that's the same thing I did. I got to this practice. Get to the practice, get to the practice, get to the practice. And there was a season there when my wife was a little bit uncomfortable. Hey, bro, you looking at that computer a lot. When my kids were, hey, dad, you know what I'm saying? Play with me. And the play, you know, we're going to do 15, 20 minutes, baby, but I got to get back to practicing. We can't do a whole hour. What is work-life balance? I think it's a cool term that somebody made up because they weren't passionate about something to be enraptured by it for a moment. That's all.
And if I could just add as a student, Jay, Andres, and others on the stage can probably speak to this. I think treating it like a project is important in terms of the season that you'll be learning how to do it. And my learning, like I just finished up learning, like really how to do options trading. And that took me 100+ hours of YouTube content following one community. But my point is, none of those hours were actually spent on company. It was learning the fundamentals of options trading and everything about that. Now that I'm about to go into the bond market and learn from Jay, I'm treating that like a project. So there's a season of learning the content and the structure and fundamentals, and then there'll be a season of getting your practice in the market. So I just wanted to encourage you as a student, not necessarily a master of this, to say that the seasonality he's talking about is different. At some point you're learning it, at another point you're applying it, and then another point you're going to get good at it, and then you're going to assign yourself another opportunity like learning the future or learning, long-term investments. I just wanted to add to that from the student perspective.
I totally agree. I couldn't have said it better. Your balance is yours. What you do is what works for you and works for your house and works for your family and works for your wife and works for your children. One thing I will say is, though, as partners, the beautiful thing about it is we hold each other up. You know what I'm saying? My wife understood what I was trying to accomplish. So she knew what I was trying to do because I had communicated that with her. And to some degree, and I know this might sound like crazy, but, got her blessing on it because our lives are so intertwined that I don't want to put her at risk. So I'm going to listen if she has a concern. You feel me? I say, hey, babe, I got this thing going on. I'm learning how to do this thing. It's called a bonds. It's kind of crazy. Look at it. Here it is happening. Oh, okay. Well, sweetheart, if you're going to do that, you know what I'm saying? Let's just make sure that we have X amount put aside or X amount learned. Or, you know what I really need, Jay? If you can just put in a foot rub for me, every couple of days where I can talk to you, then, as long as I have that, I feel comfortable. All right, sweetheart, let's go after it. And I thank God, my wife, Angelica, she was right there with me while I was losing money, while I wasn't understanding what was going on. And then when the trade started making sense, and now when I'm turning a whole lot of other people in the ATM, she right there beside me. And I think, the power of it is the partnership, to be very honest with you, Andres. And I appreciate that question, man. Don't let the market overload you. We don't love it. We don't love it. And your work-life balance is going to be unique to you. I can't tell you what your lady, what your kids need, but at the same time, I do promote heavy sense of communication so that you and your lady be on the same page, because one could put 1,000 a flight, but two could put 10,000 a flight. So you need her. The joys become double. You know what I'm saying? The sorrows become half. So it's a power to that. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just stay locked in with one another. You'll find that you'll look up. It'll be a few months later, and now y'all got a pile of money that y'all sitting on, you know, just because y'all decided to come together. So I encourage you in that.
Appreciate it. I feel all those words, man. I appreciate everything you just said, and what the other speakers said too.
You already know, man. Hey, much love to you. Much love. I really appreciate you. Hey, yo, everybody, it's been fantastic this morning. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm in the trade room right now. Just a little while ago, Sharice, VHQ said that the S&P will drop. Well, don't worry. It just made a nice little 12-point drop just now. Don't worry. VHQ's got you covered. Good call, VHQ, on that. Look, I do this thing every morning, this waking up, this looking at the market, this answering questions. Ping somebody, tell somebody. The gift that I want to give you is the gift of responsibility. We are responsible for what we have seen and heard. If you watch a good Netflix show, you tell somebody. I know y'all already been talking about Bridgerton, and y'all already talking about, you know, what's going to happen next season, and Shonda Rhimes coming back on Netflix. I know you, I heard you. You know what I'm saying? So if you saw a room where somebody knew how to get to some money, even if you hadn't gotten to it yet, you know, tell a friend, tell somebody about it. Because responsibility is something that we all have. That's the gift we all possess. That's the skill we all have. And we need to tell one another what we are seeing and what we are hearing. Aside from that, I want to let you know that I do free trainings on Sunday and Wednesday. Lamar was like texting me just now, hey, bro, please tell everybody about the Sunday and Wednesday free training. Lamar, I got your text. I hear you, bro. Hey, check it out. So Sunday and Wednesday nights, I do free training, man. Click the link in my bio on Instagram and come to a free training. More than that, I'm your friend, I'm your cousin, I'm your brother, I'm your uncle, I'm your, you know what I'm saying, your nephew, or whatever your age range in relation to me. So, you know what I'm saying? We family now. And I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I take that word very seriously. If you need me, holler at me, because here I am. You know what I'm saying? We try our best to serve. That's what the word for this year, and I haven't really gone into it, but there will be an address very soon. But in my community, if you want to be a bond bully, you believe in growing and you believe in serving. And our watchword for this year is the word urgency. And I want everyone to understand that they have to be urgent about what it is that they're trying to accomplish. What I'm so proud of, no matter what, is that right now it's a trade room I'm going to go to, and I'm going to share with 205 other traders that's in here right now. We're all going to be looking at this market together. We're all going to be talking about it together. That is a blessing. You know, and we all had to start somewhere. So if you don't know anything about what I'm talking about and you want to know what I'm talking about, holler at me on Sunday at 3:30 or Wednesday night at 8:30, because those are free training nights. We all have some cool stuff. So if you tap in with me on Instagram, you'll see Bully Testimony Service going to be popping. We have an address coming up soon. We got the Bond Bully Conference in Miami, Florida, August 11th through the 15th. That's going to be so ridiculous. Oh, my world. So it's going down. And I appreciate you hollering at me while it does. And much love to everybody. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, Twitch or Periscope, I totally appreciate you hanging out. You know what I'm saying? If you're on Clubhouse, much love to you as well. You already know I appreciate you. It's much love. We about to get to it. All right. Y'all have a fantastic day. Stay safe and trade safe out here. All right. Peace.